I guess why was his minute total that low?
We're trying to keep him around 30, trying to get him as much rest as we can. We've played him a lot of minutes, played him 35 2 days ago. So as long as we were hanging in there, then we wanted to limit the minutes a little bit. Not limit them, but not overplay him.
There was kind of that stretch in the fourth where you took time out with like 9 minutes left. I think you were down 4. Looked like you might go back to Steph, didn't, and then it was 8, and you did go back. Do you feel like that was one of the deciding stretches?
No. We got Chris Paul out there. We got Clay. We got Draymond. We got great players out there. So it's we can't expect to just ride Steph game after game after game. These last few weeks have been really tough on him. We've put the burden of this franchise on his shoulders for 15 years. We can't expect him to play 35 minutes. We got 5 games in 7 days on this road trip. So if you want to say that him playing 30 minutes instead of 32 is the difference in the win and the loss, I totally disagree with that. And we're trying to win the game. We're trying to keep him fresh too.
Went away from Jonathan the last, I think, 2:30 as well. Why'd you sit him down the stretch?
Just went with Wiggs. There was nothing that Jonathan did wrong. Just, we just felt like Wiggs' experience was important.
Overall, in the fourth, that's when the Wolves really made that run, even though you were hanging in there. Just what did you see specifically in that period?
Well, they played great. They scored 36 points. In the quarter, the beginning of the quarter, we turned it over on the first play, which was tough. I think Alexander Walker made a couple of threes. Those were big shots that swung the game. And, all in all, you give them credit. They made 21 out of 43s. They shot the lights out. I loved the way our guys competed. They played for 48 minutes. They played hard and together and gave us a chance to win. We just couldn't pull it off.
We've talked a lot about urgency and playing with effort recently. Would you say that tonight was a step in the right direction? In that sense?
Great effort, great urgency. Took it to them right away. Forced a bunch of turnovers. Got on the floor for loose balls. I loved the effort.
And it looked like you guys were trapping Ant a lot on ball screens, handoffs. How would you say that you guys defended him and the game plan there?
Well, you have to try to mix it up on Anthony. He's so talented, and so we did a few different things and put different guys on him. And all in all, if you hold him to 7 for 18, that's not a bad job. He's a tough player to handle.
A couple nights ago, maybe it was after the Memphis game or something, but Steph was basically saying how for him at least it's less about where we finish in the standings, more about building the habits to make sure that if we make the play-in, we can extend this run. How do you balance that when you are only a half game up on the Rockets for 10th, but then are also trying to build those habits where wins are really important?
I think what Steph is saying is if we don't build the habits, it doesn't matter, right? No matter what happens, you make the play-in, you don't, if you don't have the habits, you're not going anywhere. So the habits were much improved tonight, just the defensive focus, the effort, the energy. So I'm confident that if we compete and play like that these last 12 games, that we're going to put ourselves in position to do something.
It seemed like there was some defensive mix-ups in that fourth quarter at times, on screens. It seemed like you did like the effort, but did you see some breakdowns? Sure,
yeah, there were some breakdowns, but there's always going to be breakdowns in every game. You just try to limit them as much as you can. And but they scored 68 in the second half, obviously, 46 in the first. So, they did a good job of taking care of the ball in the second half. I think they only turned it over 3 times in the second half. And they had a really clean effort offensively. And they got Gobert at the rim a few times and spread us out. So they did a nice job offensively.
What are the keys to getting better offense when Steph sits?
We got to execute better. You know, we're obviously going to play a little different style. You know, it's going to be more pick and roll with Chris, but we had some turnovers in that stretch that hurt us, and you know, we had some shots that were right there, and ball didn't go a couple times, but again, the effort's great, the energy's right, the guys are connected. Just got to keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Warriors team is playing in terms of the changes you've made. You're encouraged?
No, we keep losing. That's not encouraging.
I know you guys sounded like an extended film session on the Pacers game. Just how ugly was that tape to watch?
Yeah, it was nasty. You know, we had control of the game at one point, and then we just gave it up and never got it back.
How demoralizing is it considering stakes, situation, standings, all that you guys?
It sucks. So, you know, when you have to win and you don't, it sucks.
How are you kind of balancing that we need to win and also we also have to build these good habits so that if we do make it in the play and beyond, we can make a run?
But in order to win, you have to build good habits. So I don't think we have great habits. Until you play with great habits at all times, you lose.
The position you're in now, just in the standings, game up on Houston, what would you say are some of the biggest factors that have led to this?
Losing games, especially games that we should win. We lose a lot of games that we should win. So in this league, you have to win the games you're supposed to win and still a few that you're not supposed to win. But if you lose the ones you're supposed to win, you're in for a long year.
You feel like you should have won tonight?
For sure.
What do you think didn't allow you to?
A lot of things. We have too many breakdowns.
Yeah.
You just can't win having breakdowns. If you have breakdowns, it changes momentum. And momentum in this league is not it's not easy to get back. So they're an NBA team too. And by the standings, they're a much better NBA team than us. So if you can't not have breakdowns, you're going to lose. And if you play against a team that is technically better than you and you have breakdowns, you're always going to lose. And that's why we lose a lot right now.
Seemed like in the second half, it was mostly like half court, like, pick and roll or switch type breakdowns.
Yeah. We're a very quiet team, so you have communication. You have issues on defense when you have bad communication.
How much are you now kind of tracking the Rockets?
I don't give a damn about the Rockets.
Were you surprised how long you rested in the fourth?
With me, obviously, you're comparing it to last game and the normal rotation. Like, I want to play as many minutes as I'm fresh and able to. So a little bit, knowing that they were just going on a run, the lead was kind of withering away. So, we played the whole fourth quarter against Indiana. It didn't work out. This didn't work out. So we got to find somewhere in the middle.
Steve has mentioned wanting to keep you around 30 to 32 with, how compact the schedule is, and really said how much of a burden you've had the last 15 years, really, with this franchise. I know it's a conversation we've had plenty, but can you only play 30 to 32 right now, considering what's at stake?
The situation will define itself pretty clearly, and it is in kind of real time. So every game matters. We're inching closer to the other end of the standings that we never thought we'd be in. So nobody's going to wave the white flag and say, you're mailing it in. And if that means playing more minutes, then I'll be ready to do that.
Kind of alluding to it now, and this is a open-ended question, but just like, where do you guys kind of go from here as you navigate these last 12 games against some tough opponents and opponents who are also in this play-in playoff race?
Same answer we've had, where you got to try to beat Miami, we got embarrassed against Indiana and didn't play hard, weren't connected with like effort and focus. Tonight we competed. They just made more shots than we did, made enough plays, got the crowd back into it at the beginning of that fourth quarter. But we responded well with what we didn't do well against Indiana. Still got nothing to show for it. So can we do that again in Miami and play 48, solid minutes? The NBA is such a weird league. It just takes one little spark to, get yourself going. Every team goes through it in the season. You see what Houston's doing right now. They got one little spark and they run off whatever it is, 8, 9 in a row. So we're capable of doing that until we run out of games. That's the mindset.
You kind of alluded to it there, but how tough was the Pacers film to watch?
As a player, you know when you're messing up and making mistakes and there's a lack of focus, and then you go watch the film and it's 10 times worse. That's what it kind of felt like, where every little play we were one step behind. Every possession that could have kept the lead or kept the momentum on our side, or forced them to think about us a little bit. We literally, it was play after play after play after play. So it is difficult to watch it and know you let one slip. Tonight, like I said, I'm sure the film will look a lot better. Still a loss. So I think that honestly just speaks to our pride and our ability to come out and want to play hard, knowing we've had a tough go as of late.
In crunch time this season, then what are the keys to executing down the stretch?
Honestly, everything. Getting outshot from three-point line, giving up offensive rebounds, disorganized on offense with a couple tough turnovers. And any game, on the road especially, but any game, the play here or play there can define 48 minutes. It's weird. Like it's such a hard league to win games. And when a team is kind of reeling and you have a chance to put them away, not being a close game like we had at the beginning of the fourth quarter, we didn't do it. End of the third quarter against Indiana, we didn't do it. So it's tough.
Steph, every year, many years, the Warriors have been at the top of the West. When you look at the West this season, do you see it as being a deeper conference than it's been in years past? Or how do you look at this?
No, for sure it is from top to bottom. You got the defending champs, you got Minnesota, you got OKC, the young guys on the map, and then you got the that next tier of teams that have had playoff experience and try and get to that next level. You got us, and down the way we're surprised that we're here, but we still feel like we're capable of beating anybody. So everybody has talent, everybody has something that they built their identity on, and it is a very competitive landscape, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out, but we want to be in that fight.